All right. How is everybody doing? Awesome stuff. Well, I have my screen shared, so if anybody's having a problem viewing it, please let us know. You can use the chat tonight for any questions that you might have, and we'll be able to answer things as we go along, but otherwise we can answer them at the very end. So just want to welcome everybody to our pain management webinar. I know a few of you on here, but many of you I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, so I just wanted to thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to get the opportunity to share about pain management as well as natural options and solutions that we have found using essential oils along with various resources. So if you're here, I'm assuming you've dealt with or are currently experiencing pain and want options. Am I right? Right? Yeah. I'm so thankful for what essential oils have done in my life, just to empower me to be a healer in my own home. Just a tad about me. I've been using and sharing essential oils for just over 2 years. I originally dove into doTERRA for my children, but have since learned how they could change all aspects of my life. I personally use a lot of different oils for pain. I'm personally currently using them for my dog. So there's a lot of different options that you're going to be able to experience tonight or just in your journey with oils. I had the opportunity to meet Shannon when she came to pick something up at my house and told me about knee pain she was experiencing. And so I handled her a bottle of deep blue lotion to use, and so her oil story began. And she's really the inspiration behind all of our pain management series. So without further ado, I'm just going to hand it over to Shannon.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon Carlson. This is a very personal, I have a personal connection to this topic, having lived with chronic pain for many years. So a little bit about my backstory, and I'll try not to bore you guys. I'll try to go a little quick. 3 years ago, I suffered a knee injury that pretty much changed my life and also ultimately ended my career in law enforcement, unfortunately. So that was pretty unfortunate. I was shuffled in between 4 different orthopedic surgeons and 2 pain management doctors for about 10 months after my injury. So absolutely nothing happened. I was in an incredible amount of pain. I was non-weight bearing. I was hobbling around on crutches. I had lost all my independency, couldn't drive myself, couldn't do my own laundry, but yet, doctors were just like, oh, we don't know what's going on. But the only thing that they could give me, and they were insistent on giving me, was strong pain medication. I was handed oxycodone, Norcos, I was put on Butrans patches, and every strength of tramadol imaginable. So at a point, I felt like a vegetable on the couch because I was on so many different pain medications. And if one didn't work and I'd go back and I'd say this wasn't working or I'd complain, they'd quickly, prescribe me a different one, or they would even mix multiple of them together, which honestly, it did not help at all. But I get it. They're trying to, alleviate my pain. And then plus adding in high doses of anti-inflammatories as well. In May of 2015, I ended up having my first knee surgery, which was unsuccessful. And the doctors continued to try to alleviate pain by giving me multiple injections directly into my knee joint itself. And then they also kind of treated me a little bit like a guinea pig because they didn't know what was going on and they thought that it might be a chronic pain condition. So they ended up doing multiple injections, nerve blocks in the inside of my leg, and then also in my lower back to see if that would help my pain at all. Again, unsuccessful. So a year after my first surgery, I had my second surgery, which gave me about 50% relief. And I knew at that point, I was done with pills. I had had a little bit more relief. I was halfway there, but I just needed something else. And I didn't want to be on pills the rest of my life. Being a deputy, I knew firsthand that opioid addiction does not discriminate. I've arrested numerous people in possession of opioid medication that weren't prescribed to them. And I worked the jail for a long time, so I had a lot of firsthand contact with inmates that, would tell me about how pills wrecked their lives or maybe how they've lost loved ones. And I knew I was stronger than this, stronger than the pills that I was forced to take just to live my daily life. So kind of stumbled on essential oils just by accident 10 months after my second surgery. Unfortunately, it took 10 months after my second surgery. I was looking for some options for our parrots and started noticing that everybody was using essential oils for behavioral issues. So as I researched the oils for birds, I was blown away at all the documented uses and health benefits that other people were having. And I thought, this, might be something that I can use. So I remember stopping by Brittany's house that day, we're chatting about some oils. I went on and on about every single ache and pain that I had, including my knee, which was affecting my back, which was affecting my other leg, which was affecting, my stomach and, everything. And I remember her reaching for this little blue tube from her office, from the cabinet, and giving me that little tiny sample of deep blue. I put it on my knee, and almost immediately I felt that cooling and tingling, and the stiffness that was there was, starting to subside enough for me to be able to drive home in traffic. And I was like, oh my gosh, what was this magic rub that you gave me? So there, my oil journey began. So I've been using, about 7 months ago, I started my oil journey, and at the time I was taking high doses of tramadol, a delayed release, and I was also taking lower doses of tramadol twice a day for breakthrough pain. The pain was so severe that I'd have to set an alarm clock at 5 a.m. every morning to be able to take medication, to be able to roll out of bed at 8. And I knew that if I didn't set that alarm to be able to take my medication, then that would kind of ruin my whole day. So I think back at how my pain and my pain medication was basically dictating my life. If I didn't take meds, I didn't get out of bed. So anyways, so within a week of using oils, I finally was able to sleep through at night, and I was no longer needing to set an alarm. It was awesome. I was able to sleep in until 8 a.m. And I felt like I was slowly getting my life back. And then, so fast forward a month, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try some supplements. I'm going to try to maybe incorporate some deep blue oral complex. And then I also focused on getting my gut healthy with probiotics and digestive enzymes to help further control my body's inflammation. And that, adding on all of those products with the essential oils, that's when my life completely took a different, it changed into a positive direction. I was consistently sleeping better, no more sleepless nights. I wasn't sleeping in like I had done, not even until 8 o'clock. 7 a.m. I'm up ready to go. Didn't need that afternoon nap anymore. And I had so much energy that I almost didn't know what to do with it. So gradually over the next 6 months, I was able to wean myself completely off of pain medication. And I'll be honest, and I won't lie, it was not easy. It was something that you have to be dedicated to doing, and you have to be motivated to do it, because there's multiple days that you'll still be painful and you'll want to give in to taking that pain pill, but you know that it might take 5 minutes to, do your pain roller or make a morphine bomb, put some rub on, and just kind of relax and let those oils work. But it's not going to be easy, but it's something that can be done. And I was committed to not becoming a statistic and living with pain for the rest of my life. So tonight, I'm super excited to be able to share all the blends and recipes that have basically become a necessity for my daily pain management. And so Brittany's going to start with talking about LLV and why it's so amazing, and why, it's doTERRA's #1 bestseller of their products.
Definitely. And before we even dive into that, I do want to touch on, obviously up on the page, we have our essential oil book for pain management. So this is a complete sneak peek at what you guys are going to be getting. It's all the recipes. But before we dive into just the pain management tips and supplements that we use and recipes, I do want to touch on oil safety, quality, and application tips. So I know most of you on the webinar currently use oils, but there are some that don't. So I would recommend, even if you're using the oils and you haven't had the opportunity to attend a full intro to essential oils class, do so. It's so informative, and you'll get the opportunity to learn and take in more information and really understand how to utilize your oils. We're going to be having a regular intro to essential oils class next Wednesday at the same time, so 8 o'clock, just to go over the basics of what essential oils are, how to use them, and how to get started. In this book that you'll be receiving, we will touch on a few safety pieces just in case you aren't familiar, because proper, safe, and consistent use of oils equals results. Just a tad about sourcing. just a little bit about the doTERRA difference, because it's a big deal in my life just from all the research that I've done. It's obviously apparent that the essential oil industry is gaining a lot of popularity, which means they're becoming very easy to find. And that also means there's no regulation on the industry. So I unfortunately learned that 80% of essential oils in the marketplace are adulterated in some way, shape, or form, which breaks my heart for all the people that are trying to use oils for alternatives but don't understand the safety and quality of the oils that they use. The purity of an essential oil is its most important characteristic. So an essential oil that isn't pure means you run the risk of putting germs or heavy metals or other adulterants onto your skin or into your body, which can provoke irritation, adverse effects, or even sickness, which is like the opposite of what we're trying to do. So without an accepted standard, doTERRA created its own testing process, which they call CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. So this process certifies that there are no added fillers, there's no synthetic ingredients or harmful contaminants in their oils that would reduce their efficacy. So efficacy is important when it comes to pain management, because you want your oils to work. doTERRA puts all their products and their packaging through a battery of tests to ensure long and effective shelf life. This protocol ensures there's potency, purity, and consistency batch to batch. So not only will these essential oils work, but they will always work every single time. When it comes to safety and use of oils, we included some dilution charts as well as like application information in the ebook, but dilution and consistent use is definitely the best. The dilution charts are for adults, but we also included information on child use as well as pregnant, elderly, or just sensitive skin. And then also just areas of application. So we often reference, like you'll hear people that use oils talking about put it on the bottoms of your feet. And so the reason for that is just merely because the foot has 7,200 nerve endings. So the foot basically acts as a freeway to your entire body. And then also the slower absorption rates combined with the fast delivery equal more efficient use of your oils. So obviously, if you're not trying to pinpoint one specific area, which in pain we are, so we will talk about direct application in that regard, but the foot is definitely a great place to start. So that's just the key about that information to start. So I definitely want to talk about supplements. I personally take LLV, and I didn't start them originally because of any pain management endeavors, but I actually originally started taking it when I was pregnant. And that's because with my first pregnancy, I wanted to sleep every day. And I was like, okay, my second pregnancy, I have a toddler at home. There's no way I can sleep every day because I have a toddler at home. So I decided to try out LLV. And with my daughter, I never took a single nap. And I was like, that's pretty incredible for somebody that goes from one pregnancy having to nap every single day. And like, there was times where I'd fight it so hard, you guys, and I would like fall asleep at my desk. And I'm like, this is super abnormal for me. I don't take naps. You can ask anybody that knows me, but I personally have experienced amazing things with the LLV vitamins just in my life. But you know, when you think about doTERRA, they're an essential oil company, but I find it incredibly interesting that their number one product is their lifelong vitality supplement. As good as the oils are, this is the number one product because of the incredible health benefits of these supplements. So one thing that makes them different and so powerful is because they actually contain essential oils. So they contain 9 different essential oils, some of which being clove. I'll touch on them in a second, but beyond just getting those vitamins and supplements, you're also intaking incredible oils on a daily basis. There's 3 different components. I like that I just did this. There's 3 different components, 3. The first one is called VMZ. They're in a different order on the picture, but VMZ has all of its vitamins and minerals that your body needs. If you look at the back of the bottle, if you have it, you'll notice how each of the vitamins is introduced to your body in a way that your body can recognize and absorb these nutrients. And that's because they have their whole food vitamins. Typical supplements and vitamins that you'd find on any shelf are synthetic. So your body has a hard time absorbing those. So if you really want your bang for your buck, get a whole food vitamin. Next up is the XE Omega, and this bottle includes your omega-3 fatty acids as well as the 9 different essential oils, which clove is one of them. It's the most powerful antioxidant, so it's going to keep you healthy. Frankincense, which is an anti-inflammatory. Thyme, which is great for pain. Cumin, orange, peppermint, ginger, caraway, and German chamomile. So like I said before, you're not just getting the supplements, you're also getting daily essential oils, which I think is unbelievable. We don't have to make those extra capsules. And then the key word is daily. So you just consistent use of these oils, right? And then the last one in the LLV is the Alpha CRS. And this is probably my favorite one because it's just all about energy. And if you're talking to a mama, that's all you want, right? So this bottle is specific for cellular health and energy. And it's also really great for pain. There's a ton of different, I put it in the notes as far as on the ebook, there's boswellic acid, which is great for inflammation. There's also green tea leaf, pineapple stem, turmeric root, all of which fight inflammation. So if you're dealing with pain, fighting inflammation can be a big key, and that's included in these LLV supplements. They encompass optimum levels of all of these things that you need, and what your body requires at a cellular level. So the truth is, without a strong foundation in nutrition, no amount of essential oil magic is going to truly change your wellness. Even if you can literally eat all organic foods and, all the fruits and vegetables that you could think, our sources are depleted, and you really need supplements on top of those to reduce that toxicity and environmental decrease. So the LLV is a really great foundation of where to start if you're looking to combat pain issues, heal the body from within, and then really feel the effects of those essential oil use. It's just a really great foundation, which is why we wanted to talk about it. Plus, we've obviously both experienced such great things from it. But beyond that, I'm going to have Shannon touch on Terrazyme and Zendocrine, how she used those in detoxing.
So Terrazyme is doTERRA's digestive enzymes, and they are active whole food enzymes. When taken with a meal, help absorb more nutrients and improve the gut health, which I was doing when I was, starting to wean myself off of medication. Because a lot of your inflammation will start in your gut, and then it kind of spreads throughout the body. So if your gut isn't healthy, you're not going to be able to get the rest of your body healthy. But what I didn't know is that when enzymes are taken with food, they're considered digestive enzymes. When they're taken on an empty stomach or between meals, their enzymes are actually passed through your digestive tract and into the bloodstream for systemic effects. So now you have systemic enzymes, if I can get it out, which can break down proteins in the body that cause scar tissue, inflammation, swelling, and pain associated with injuries, while also helping to speed your healing process. So there's tons of studies that once I started looking into it, I thought, wow, there's tons of studies of people, of trainers use them for their athletes. Over in Europe, they use them for their Olympic training or their Olympic teams, so that way, if they are injured, that they're able to spring back from that a lot quicker. So there's tons of studies documenting the use of the enzymes for acute and chronic inflammatory conditions and diseases. So that was one that I felt like I absolutely had to start taking that. And I started taking the Terrazyme probably about the same time as I started taking the LLV, and kind of delayed a little bit on the probiotics. I started taking those probably about 3 months ago. doTERRA's PB Assist, but I just feel like my gut has never been healthier. And then also I used Zendocrine essential oil during my weaning process off of pain medication. I added in doses of the Zendocrine oil and lemon essential oils to help my body kind of detox a little bit quicker. So if anybody is on medication, even if it's not the hardcore opioid medication, or there's other medications that you're wanting to detox off of, these are two great products that will help kind of just, they're powerful blends, especially the Zendocrine, that will support the body's natural ability to rid itself of unwanted substances. And in my case, that was years worth of opioid doses. I had almost 3 years of taking them consistently every single day, multiple times a day. And then a lemon essential oil is also very naturally cleansing to the body and aids in the detoxification process when you use it internally. So for me, I used 2 drops of Zendocrine essential oil. I diluted that with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil or carrier oil of your choice. And I actually applied that over my liver and then over both my kidneys multiple times a day. I added 2 drops of Zendocrine into a veggie capsule And some days I did put a little bit of frankincense in there when I was kind of just feeling, like my body really needed just a little bit more for the inflammation. But most of the time I just do a couple drops of Xenocrine into a veggie capsule. I would take that orally once a day. And then also adding a drop of Xenocrine and lemon into my water. Every single time I filled up my water, multiple drops of lemon. And hydration plays a key role when detoxing. So adding any little bit of flavor to your water is going to help make it go down a little bit easier, and you're going to consume a lot more. Because if you do get dehydrated, now that's just kind of one more thing on top of your detoxification that's going to, make you exhausted and make you fatigued. So you definitely want to make sure that you're hydrated. So now Brittany's going to go over all the Deep Blue products that basically sold me on essential oils.
Right. Well, the one main reason why I love doTERRA is just because they're trying to make it simple, right? Obviously, there's incredible things, blends that you can make. You can fill your own veggie capsules, and it's really cool. And we're going to get into all that stuff. But for the beginners, or in the very beginning of when you receive your oils, because obviously Deep Blue blend is included in that top 10 oil kit. So it's typically the oil that you either get it and you're super excited to use, or you get it and you have no idea how to use it. But I love their Deep Blue line. So one of the main ones is the complex that Shannon touched on, being able to take that. It's kind of like a natural pain reliever. I've personally taken that if I just feel a little sore, or like I said, thankfully I don't deal with chronic pain, but I have dealt, various instances just over in my lifetime of going onto this holistic journey. I've only taken one ibuprofen in the last 5 years. So, and that was because I was traveling and I was just desperate and I didn't have my oils. That was like a rookie mistake. But it's really cool that they have created these products to put into place in your medicine cabinet that are safe for use. But Deep Blue Complex is basically going to be that natural pain reliever. It's full of polyphenols and it's really great. It not only just masks the issues like a typical pain reliever would do, but it's also going to cut to the source of the inflammation and the pain. The blue tube that Shannon references was the Deep Blue Rub. That stuff's amazing. I think that was one of the first products that I bought outside of my kit, just because I was like, oh, this stuff is incredible. Whether it's like sore muscles in my husband, I feel like that's always the oil that you can easily try to convince other people, like, oh, you don't like essential oils, so you're going to like this stuff. So the lotion is really just made for ease. So you can apply it over any sore muscles, joints that are aching, anything like that. And it's really great for using in layering, which we'll talk about in a minute. Obviously the Deep Blue straight blend oil comes in 2 different versions. So it comes in the 5 milliliter drop bottle, the first one pictured there. And that's the one that typically comes in the kit. Otherwise, you can get in a 10 milliliter roll-on, and that's undiluted Deep Blue. So if you have severe acute pain in small areas, the Deep Blue roller is a great go-to for specific areas of pain, whether it's an elbow or a joint and hand pain on knees. It's easy to use. You don't have to put it in a roller and worry about all of that. It just comes in a roller bottle. And then there's the Deep Blue Touch, which is diluted. So that's great for sensitive skin, on use with younger or elderly, or when you're pregnant. There are some claims out there saying you should be careful using Deep Blue products when you're pregnant. And a lot of people are like, should I be worried about that? But I survived on Deep Blue. So personally, the biggest thing is just when you're pregnant, there's a lot more sensitivities. So the biggest thing would be try it in a small area first. And if it's very strong, then dilute it. Otherwise, like I use Deep Blue Rub all through my labor. It was amazing to me. So for me, I could totally handle it. And it was fine. The sensitivity wasn't an issue. So the touch roller is definitely there for even use on kids or younger children, which is really great. So the Deep Blue lineup is really created for ease. So use it, abuse it, just love it. It's just incredible. And then next up, we're going to go ahead and hop into some of the things that we have created that we're so excited to talk about. And the first up is the morphine bomb pill, which I personally love because I use it every once in a while, but I know Shannon lives by it on a daily basis, so she's going to take it on.
Yeah, this finding this recipe was, I have to admit, it was like truly life-changing for my pain. And it's funny, I cannot take all the credit. My husband was actually the one that found it on Pinterest over this summer. And he's still just like, nope, I found it. So he definitely, really appreciates a morphine balm too when he's got like wrist pain or anything like that. But these are super, super simple to make. And again, when I was weaning myself off of pain medication, I still felt like my body needed a little something. Sometimes the deep blue combination, or my roller blend that I was using, wasn't quite enough. It was like I just needed a little bit more, maybe just something on the inside just to help, with the inflammation and the pain, and just help with calming. And so what I did is I took a veggie capsule, and those you can either get from doTERRA, you can get those from any health food store, Amazon, and we filled it with lemongrass, marjoram, frankincense, and copaiba. The standard recipe for the morphine balm is 6 drops each of lemongrass, marjoram, and frankincense. But since copaiba was just released in September, I was like, well, why not add this too? What's it gonna do? It's, might even help me a little bit. So you can go ahead and put, if you want to put 4 drops in, that's what I'm doing. Is the 4 drops in the veggie capsule. For short-term use, if you don't have marjoram, you can also use oregano for acute pain, but I would only do that if you were gonna use it every once in a while. If it's more for chronic pain, like what I was dealing with, I wouldn't do any more than like a 10-day dosing of the oregano, since it's so powerful. You want to give your liver a little bit of a break in between. So for acute pain, if you've got it, go ahead and use it. If not, then I would definitely, order some marjoram. But with the 3 oils, marjoram, lemongrass, and frankincense, the one thing that you're going to notice is they have amazing anti-inflammatory properties. Marjoram is anti-inflammatory. It's very calming. That affects both the body and the mind. You'll even notice that a lot of times it's in some of the sleep blends, because it just really helps to just kind of calm you, take away all your worries, and just make everything okay. Well, at least it does for me in my sleep blend. Frankincense, of course, king of oils, helps to improve circulation and reduce whole body inflammation. And then lemongrass is a natural analgesic that can help reduce pain and inflammation as well. Copaiba, I wanted to touch on this just a little bit. I mean, where do I even start with this oil? So this was released in early September, and I was lucky enough to get it pretty much the week after convention, and started mixing up my own little cocktails of everything, started researching. This oil, and I cannot stress it enough, was a game changer for my pain, for everything. I was still on twice-a-day doses of pain medication, very, very low doses at this time. And I would try to skip a morning dose and it wasn't happening. I'd find myself taking it by afternoon, again, taking it at night to sleep. But once I added in copaiba to my morphine balm, that was all I needed. That's what was my missing link. Copaiba is a powerful antioxidant rich in beta-caryophyllene, which directly affects the body's CB2 receptors. So the CB2 receptors support healthy nervous system function, proper immune function, and have soothing and relaxing properties on the body, primarily through their ability to regulate inflammation, which is huge for us chronic pain sufferers. Copaiba is also known as a magnifier oil. So if you combine it with other essential oils, it's actually going to magnify the healing properties of the oils that you're using it with. So for severe pain with the morphine balm, you can take it as often as every 3 to 4 hours if you need it. But if you are taking it multiple times a day, I would recommend to lower the amount of copaiba that you're using in the veggie capsule. One, it's probably not all going to fit unless you buy. I had to upgrade to the 00 size, which are big horse pills, so I could get all 19 of my drops in there. But you could just take less of copaiba, since it's actually going to magnify, a lot of those other oils that you're using. You may notice that you don't need it as often. So initially I started using this blend multiple times a day, but as I continued using it every single day, I noticed that I went from 3 times a day to only needing it twice a day, to now I only need it at nighttime, just because I still get a little bit of stiffness and a little bit of achiness towards the end of the day after I've done my whole day worth of activities. It's not like I'm sitting on the couch anymore. I'm living my life the way that I should be living it. So of course I'm still going to get a little bit of achy and everything, but now I notice that, I only have to take that 1 pill at nighttime and that's it. And taking it before bed has been, amazing for sleep as well. Since it's so calming and relaxing, literally within I feel like within 15 minutes of taking this pill, I am out for the count. between that and my diffuser, I don't even feel like I'm having to apply oils on me anymore. I'm out. So, this oil everybody should have in their collection, especially if it is back in stock, everybody should have this oil since it's absolutely amazing. So Brittany's going to talk about layering versus blending, and then I'll talk to you about the joints roller and my, kind of my go-to blend that I've actually perfected, which took me a little bit.
Definitely. Well, we just wanted to mention layering versus blending. So typically when you start out with your essential oils, it's very typical. I know I did this. You get the roller bottles and you just start mixing them up and you're like, all right, I think I'm going to put a little of this in there, a little of that in there, which is totally fine. But it is important to know that blending takes a lot. It's quite an art. So there's definitely a chemistry to certain oils. Some oils work very well with other oils where, blending, sometimes if you're blending certain oils, it can actually lessen the properties of that oil that you originally wanted to get the properties of. So one of the amazing ways to use essential oils is actually layering them. And this is perfect for when you're talking about pain management, because a lot of times with pain, you need the specific properties of each of those oils. So blending them all together might not be the best benefit. Obviously, like Shannon said, we've perfected our joints roller over time. And so it's one that we have been able to use here and there. I've used it on other people and they speak highly of it. But layering is definitely an option, especially when you're talking about specific ailments, which we'll get onto in the next slide. But layering would just be, since essential oils absorb really quick and they have really quick flash points, you don't have to like layer on and then wait a while. Like you can literally layer one layer of something on and then go to reach for the next oil and then go to layer it on. So that's what layering is. You're putting one application and then the next oil and then the next oil. So you're getting the benefits of every single one of those oils separately, but then overall they're going to be combined. So layering is definitely a way to try to pinpoint some acute pain or specific ailments or even severe pain if you're not feeling those benefits from blended rollers. Another way you can layer is by using specific oils for common ailments that you might have looked up. Like I said, we'll talk about in a minute, but tennis elbow is something that's very common, tendonitis. Eucalyptus is one of the best go-to oils for that. So what you could actually do is apply eucalyptus undiluted straight onto the area of concern, and then over top that, apply your joints roller or apply the deep blue lotion, because then you're going to get those properties separate. So layering is definitely a great go-to option if you're like, I just don't feel like I'm getting the benefits of like this roller somebody gave me. Definitely try layering when it comes to severe pain, but blending is convenient. So the joints roller has definitely been a go-to. Like I said, I've used it on other people and they're like, oh my gosh, the pain was gone. And like, I haven't noticed it ever since. Or it's just like, I had a really crazy pain in my hand maybe a month ago, and I had surgery on this wrist. So I have like arthritic tendencies in this wrist, although I don't really notice it a whole lot anymore since taking the LLV. But I used the joints roller and literally that night it was just done. I haven't dealt with it ever since. So it's definitely, they're both great options. It's just kind of figuring out what your body composition is going to respond to best. But I'm going to let Shannon talk about the joints roller. Well, actually really quick, I just want to touch on, obviously all of our recipes, they talk about using fractionated coconut oil. There are other options. So especially depending on where you're going to apply those oils, like if you're applying something to the face, you might want to use say like a jojoba oil. But one oil that we found to be incredibly beneficial for pain management is emu oil. I actually happened upon that oil as a carrier oil for my son because he has really chronic eczema, and it was something that was thicker, it was richer, it's actually full of omegas, but we found it to be really great for using with pain. We did a lot of research. Dr. Axe talks about his use of emu oil with pain management, and it can help with the inflammation. So if you're making up a joints roller or making some sort of rub, you can definitely opt for different carrier oils, like opt for an emu oil. And we can send out the link if anybody wants it, but it's literally emu's oil. A little weird, but it's definitely an option that you could use in your blending. And then Shannon, you could take it away for the joints roller. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I love the emu oil. I'll use it over my joints roller, or, just I was dealing with tennis elbow for probably, I want to say like 2 or 3 months and finally got that good. But I want to say like 3 times a week, I'll just put a little bit of emu oil on it just so that it's like, okay, I've got a little bit of anti-inflammatory properties like going in there. Plus, with all this dry weather, thankfully I've got the emu oil. I've actually been adding that to my lotion at night on my hands. And it's super moisturizing. So, I mean, that's another amazing, I just feel like it's so versatile. You can use it for so many different things. So for the joints roller, this took me months to kind of perfect this. And I actually used layering quite a bit to figure out what my body was going to need. So if you do make this joints roller up and you're just like, oh, this isn't working for me, remember that we're all unique and all of our bodies are going to require something different. So if you're not feeling what you would hope you were feeling from it, try layering a different oil or layering a little bit more lemongrass or layering a little bit more marjoram. I know initially I was using a roller with deep blue and frankincense and lavender. I believe there was one other, and it just wasn't really doing it for me. And then that's when I got lemongrass, and then I got marjoram. And instead of mixing them into the roller, I actually just layered them on the outside, finished up the roller, and then thought, you know what? I saw some benefit from that. Let me add in these oils. And then again, I added in the copaiba because that's just what I do with this amazing oil. So I always use deep blue as a base since it contains so many of the amazing oils that help soothe muscles and joint pain. So it's a blend of like multiple oils where you're going to get all those soothing properties and everything. And then I actually added in oils from a liquid morphine roller blend. So again, found this on Pinterest. It was a liquid morphine roller blend. And I actually made it up. It was 15 drops each. And I know we don't have this as a recipe, but it was 15 drops each of marjoram, lemongrass, and frankincense. And honestly, I used that for 2 days and I didn't feel any difference from that, which is weird because I take it as a morphine bomb internally and I see significant benefits. But topically at my site, I didn't see the benefits that I needed. So after 2 days, I opened it up and I popped in like 5 drops of deep blue and I was like, okay, now I'm getting somewhere. So, when I made it up again, I just added a little tiny bit of more of deep blue and then a little bit more of the other 3. And then of course, now I put the copaiba in there. So if you do make this up, don't get discouraged. Keep playing with it. It's an art. It's not something that's set in stone. Everybody's going to be different. So dilute that down with some fractionated coconut oil. You can apply that at the site. You're going to have to apply it multiple times. It's not something where, it's apply once and you're done for the rest of the day. Sometimes, depending on how hard you work yourself, you might need to apply it a little bit more. Sometimes I just apply my joint roller, and I don't apply anything over the top of it. And then a lot of times I'll just, apply maybe some deep blue rub over it. I'll use the emu oil over it, or I use the magnesium rub that we just actually made a couple of weekends ago. So that's really, really awesome for all those added benefits. So that's really convenient to have. You can throw it in my purse. You can take it anywhere. It's kind of discreet, apply a little bit, and now you've got the benefits of, getting those essential oils into your system within minutes. Okay, now we're going to talk about the common ailments and some of the oils that you can use for layering for specific issues.
Cool. Well, we just wanted to throw this slide together. Obviously, like Shannon said, it took a lot of playing with, right? So, there's not going to be one specific oil that's going to work the same for everybody. My body composition is much different than your body composition. So my body might respond very well to marjoram, whereas yours is going to respond very well to lemongrass. So what we have at the top of this board is just really kind of like the base of the roller. So we've found that frankincense, marjoram, lemongrass, those components, because they are so great for pain, they're so great for, they're incredible anti-inflammatories or analgesic. Those are ones that you don't really want to veer from. That's really the base that makes these so great, as well as deep blue. But then if you're talking about specific issues, so like we said, if you're dealing with tennis elbow, you can always try applying eucalyptus right below your joints roller. Carpal tunnel, basil, and cypress are great for that. So a lot of these oils you're going to see, like, these are all very specific pain ailments that people regularly talk about, but they're very different oils. Arthritis, one very common one is rosemary. fibromyalgia is wintergreen, which wintergreen is the main essential oil in the deep blue blend. But if you're dealing with something like fibromyalgia, you can always add extra wintergreen if you find the benefits aren't enough from deep blue blend itself. Rheumatoid arthritis is different than the arthritis oil itself. So you'd want to use lavender, cypress, geranium. Those are more calming oils. And then sciatica pain, you're going to use anything from peppermint, Roman chamomile, helichrysum, and thyme. One incredible resource that we absolutely love is the Modern Essentials app. So we've photographed it there on the bottom. This app is amazing. You can open it up, type any ailment. It's going to pop up with all the different oils that you can use. I will say for pretty much all of the ailments you type in, frankincense, lemongrass, marjoram, deep blue, almost regularly show up, which is why they are the base of our rollers that we do make. But the app is great because this is exactly where we got this information. But if there's specific ailments that you're like, I'm dealing with this pain, but it wasn't talked about tonight, it's an incredible resource. You can go there. They're going to list you're going to see essential oils pop up in 3 different colors. The first one being red, and that's going to be a primary oil that you'll want to try. Those constituents and properties of that oil are specific for that ailment. And then next is there are going to be oils that show up in orange, and the ones that are in orange are going to be secondary. So if you didn't have great benefits of what was the primary, you can use what shows up as secondary oils. And then there's going to be ones below that are in green, and those are all the complementary oils. So you can mix and play with all of those. Typically, there's a lot of different options. We couldn't fit all the oils for each of these common ailments onto this photo, so we just kind of put like the number one go-tos or 4 for sciatica, because it's quite a range of oils. Peppermint to Roman chamomile, they're very different properties and families. So just depending on what the ailment is, it's a great resource. And these are the oils that you can either add to your blends or you can try layering them underneath. I would recommend layering them underneath first, like Shannon said, just because then you can see, did it work or did it not? Because if it didn't, or if you didn't feel like it was leaps and bounds better, then you don't have to put it into your blend and end up with 20 roller bottles because you've been playing scientist in your house, which is kind of what I feel like sometimes. And with these, you can try layering them with the different carrier oils like fractionated coconut oil, or opt for an emu oil because you're going to have those different properties to help derive in that oil. But those are kind of the common ailments. Shannon, if you wanted to add anything, go for it. Otherwise, we can hop on to our other make and takes.
No, that sounds good.
Perfect.
Okay, so this last weekend we did a make and take class, which was centered around pain management and everything that we use or I recommend. And I wanted to make the magnesium rub because I had seen so much about it and read so much about it. So that was one of the things that we ended up making that I've been using over this last week, which has been awesome. And then also an Epsom salt and Himalayan salt bath soak. So you might be asking, why magnesium? Why all of a sudden are we talking about magnesium when we've been talking about essential oils this whole time and what essential oils do? And of course, we want to give other natural options and alternatives out there, but just oils. But of course, you can incorporate your essential oils to these items as well. So just to go over a little bit about magnesium, it's considered a vital organ and is present in every organ in the body. And it affects everything from your heartbeat to your muscles to your hormones. So it's pretty important in the body. And it's also found in about 300 different enzymes and plays a huge role in the body's detoxification process. And studies have shown that over half of Americans are actually are low in their levels of magnesium, and lifestyle factors such as sleep, your lack of sleep, excess stress, poor diet, alcohol, sugar, caffeine intake, all of that can actually deplete our levels. So some of the common symptoms of magnesium deficiency include pain, muscle cramps, migraines, anxiety, lack of sleep, insomnia, or lack of sleep, fatigue, high blood pressure. So if you think about it, I could tell you I know somebody in each one of those categories. But magnesium oil has been used in topical and transdermal therapies like mineral baths, creams, and herbal compressions for centuries, just like what we had made this last week. So, and our skin being the largest organ of the body is considered a major route of entry. So topical use of magnesium actually helps to prevent side effects and get it into our body more quickly and effectively. Plus, this allows you to maximize the amount you're getting on a daily basis without having to worry about digestive upset. And I didn't know this, but I guess magnesium is one of the key ingredients in laxatives. So if you are deficient in magnesium and you thought, oh, well, I'm just going to take a bunch orally, it might have some negative effects of helping to clean you out a little bit. So applying it topically, you're going to have a little bit quicker absorption with less side effects. Mm-hmm. It's also considered a natural muscle relaxant, which is why I really, really wanted to try it, because my muscles around my area can kind of get tense. Sometimes I overcompensate. I'm not walking the right way. I'm limping. My gait's a little weird, which still happens from time to time. And it also provides a direct blockage of pain at the receptor site. It helps to relax muscles, tissues, and the rigidity in cell membranes. And it also is proven to be beneficial for migraine relief. And to lower that high blood pressure, balance blood sugars, and improve sleep by relaxing the GABA receptors in the brain and nervous system. So one of the, I'll briefly go over what we did. Can you go back to the, sorry.
No worries. There you go.
I didn't have this one. For the magnesium rub is we took like 3 simple ingredients plus the oils of your choice. We used lavender and copaiba oils. Just again, lavender is super, super soothing, relaxing, and then copaiba just because it's so amazing. But cocoa butter, coconut oil, and magnesium oil. And I mean, pretty much you can get all 3 of these things either at a health food store or you can get it on Amazon is where I got it. And what we did is we melted the cocoa butter over a double boiler, and then once that was melted, added in the magnesium oil and the coconut oil, whipped that up for a few minutes just to mix it, and then we cooled it down in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. Put it back on the mixer just to whip it up again, and added our oils, mixed it up, and this recipe will actually make 2 4-ounce jars of it. So if you are using it for sleep, you know, you can put it on the back of your neck. You can put it on the bottoms of your feet. For headaches, you can put it on your temples, back of the neck again, and then of course, for pain, you want to put it directly at the site. So some of the things with magnesium is if your body is depleted of it, you can have a little bit of like an itching and tingling. So they do recommend you just start with just like a little tiny dab of it. I didn't feel anything like that, but I wasn't using a whole bunch of it. And of course you don't want to, use it on any freshly shaved areas. So if on your leg or anything, you want to just wait until after you've, wait a couple days on that. And then I noticed that as soon as I brought it home, it started getting warm, and I had this jar of liquid. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So I ended up putting it in the refrigerator overnight, and I left one of them in the refrigerator actually, and then the other one I took out, and it stayed pretty, it stayed kind of like a soft solid, which is nice, just to kind of rub on really quick.
So the magnesium, Southern California weather, it's just like coconut oil can't even stay together.
Yeah. It's like, solid one day, liquid the next day. So it's like, it can't make up its mind. So I really, really do love the magnesium rub. It was so simple to make. I can't believe I waited that long to make it when it was like minutes it took us to make this. And, now I've got jars of it. So, and then the Epsom salt and Himalayan salt bath. That you're just taking regular Epsom salts, which is amazing for, so many different like inflammation, relaxation, skin irritations, and mixing that with Himalayan salt. So Himalayan salt has more nutrients in it. I believe it's 82 nutrients on top of the Epsom salt, the magnesium and calcium that's in that. And then, so you've got all these nutrients in your bath water, which is going to also help to detox your body. So it's not only going to help with those muscles and those sore muscles and joints and everything, but it's going to help to pull any of those toxins, help to kind of like pull everything out of your body. There's some different oils that you can add. We added, again, lavender and copaiba, but you can definitely add in lemongrass if you've got more severe pain and inflammation, or you can even add in grapefruit for kind of just uplifting the mood, and then also for like weight loss. And I believe they even said it was for like cellulite too. Mm-hmm. So you just mix the dry ingredients together, put them in a little mason jar, let them maybe sit overnight with the oils in there just to infuse all the salts and everything. And then, run a bath water the next day and put maybe half of that amount, maybe like a half a cup in there, and take a bath. And I did read that it said to to do, since it's a detox soak, to at least soak for about 30 minutes. And don't be surprised if your body feels really drained and you're exhausted afterwards, because of the fact that it's pulling everything out of your body. Your body's working so hard. So, don't be surprised if you're just exhausted after that and you want to go right to bed. So that's kind of nice for that. And if anybody wants to schedule a make and take and wants to, invite friends and family over, we're definitely willing to do this again. It was so much fun being able to teach everybody how to make the joints roller. I made a veggie capsule in front of everybody to show how easy it was to put the drops in there. Everyone got to take some veggie capsules home. And then of course we made the magnesium rub and the Epsom salt soak too. So it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I will add, as far as like the bath soak. So I'm personally not a person that's going to be hopping in my bathtub on a regular basis, just because my bathtub is like in the smallest room of our house. It's like a tiny little bathroom, and it's where my kids bathe. So it's full of kids' toys. But when I was actually pregnant, what I did, because I knew magnesium was so important for the body as far as relieving pain and detoxing, I would just create foot soaks. And so you could get the same benefits. Like we talked about earlier with the foot, it's the highway to the entire body. So I would just sit on my couch, put a little tub of water with my warm water with the magnesium. And now I've learned about the Himalayan salt, and that's something that I didn't do then, but it was something I would for sure do the next time. But I would literally just soak my feet. Or if you have an issue with your hand or your elbow, you can literally just stick your arm in a tub of water. So you don't have to think about submersing your whole body if that's something that seems too cumbersome or too difficult. I mean, it is for me. So, I know there's got to be other people out there like me. And then one really cool side point on magnesium as well, it's incredibly beneficial for avoiding morning sickness. So if you have any friends that, want to get pregnant, have babies, I did so much research because I hate being sick. And so with both my kids, I made sure to get as much magnesium into my body before I was pregnant, because once you actually become pregnant, your body quits absorbing magnesium at levels that it regularly does. So you can't backtrack at all. You can't say, oh my gosh, I better start taking it, because your body's like, I can't really take anything else in. So it's definitely something to consider. I remember actually using it comes in just an oil form, like a spray, and you can spray it directly onto your body. I didn't experience the itching either, but I know other people that have. So it's definitely something that some people experience. I did spray it onto my legs one time after I shaved, not knowing that was an issue. So it does sting a little bit. It's like going into the ocean, after you shave your legs. So there's definite use care when using magnesium oil, but it's such an incredible thing to implement into your daily routine and daily life, because we are so depleted of it. So it's definitely shouldn't be overlooked of why it's in in our recipe books. But beyond that, we just want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Obviously, if you guys have further questions in regards to what we do for specific pain ailments wise, I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share because I want to see your beautiful names. But if you have questions, you can feel free to throw them into the chat. But other than that, if you are joining us on the webinar tonight and you haven't gotten started with essential oils, there's incredible promotions going on literally for the month of October, which ends in 5-6 days. I'm going to say 5 because it's really the end of Wednesday night. So there's an incredible promotion that if you get the Home Essentials kit, you get 3 extra oils on top of that. And then beyond that, we always provide access into our essential oil community, as well as roller bottles to get you started. So if you're like, where do I get these joints rollers? Or how do I make my own blends so I can carry them around in my purse? Those are things that we provide, and it's things we love to do. So definitely feel free to reach out to us in regards to starting up. But our online oil community, and even just the community within Southern California here, if you are local, it's incredible to know that you're not doing oils alone, if that makes sense. It can be so intimidating to order an essential oil kit and then have it sit on your shelf and it does nothing for you. Where you're going to see the most benefit is that consistent use in your daily life. And so we love to be asked questions. I always tell people, I'm like, text me every day, all the time. I'm here to answer your questions and help you through your oil journey, because it's just my passion and I love researching things if there's something that I even haven't learned about. So we will be sending out the ebook after we're done with this webinar, as well as the recording. So we will go ahead and save that for you guys and send it out. So that way, if there was somebody that was on your mind that you're like, they need to see this so they can learn how to make their own joints roller or use these certain oils, feel free to share it. This is just a free resource for people that are on our team or just people that are within our community and network. So share the video, get them access to us so we can send them the ebook. And other than that, be sure to follow up if you guys have any questions. But other than that, we hope you guys have a fantastic night. And it was a pleasure talking about our pain management series with you guys. So have a great night, guys.
Thank you.